Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're diving into a book that truly changed the game for so many people, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But we're not just doing a general review. We're going to get specific and break down the 5 major mental roadblocks that, according to Kiyosaki, are the real reason most of us never build the wealth we want, even when we think we know what we're doing. So let's get into what's really holding you back. Right off the bat, Kiyosaki makes it super clear. This isn't about not having enough information. It's not about finding that one magical stock tip. Nope. The real battle? It's all internal. It's about learning to manage these really powerful emotional roadblocks that just stop us dead in our tracks. All right, so here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to pinpoint the real enemy. Then, we're going to tackle the 5 big culprits one by one. We're talking fear, cynicism, laziness, those bad habits, and, of course, arrogance. So, what is the actual obstacle here? Well, according to Kiyosaki, it's really not about a lack of knowledge. You could be the smartest person in the room financially, but you can still get stopped by these 5 core roadblocks that are all in your head. And there they are. Look, these have nothing to do with the stock market or what the economy is doing. These are all about you. They are 100% within our own control. So let's start with the biggest one, shall we? Okay, first up is the big one, fear. And specifically, that paralyzing fear of losing your hard-earned money. And let's be honest, everyone feels it. Rich people, poor people, everybody. The only thing that's different is how they choose to handle it. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's not about trying to avoid losing. Because, spoiler alert, everyone loses sometimes. Rich Dad's whole point is that winners use failure as fuel. They learn from it, they get stronger, and it just makes them more determined. Losers, on the other hand, just get defeated and they quit. This slide just lays out the 2 mindsets so perfectly. See, most people are playing not to lose. They go for the safe, sensible, balanced portfolio, and they pretty much stay in one spot. They buy liabilities, the big house, the fancy car. But winners, they play to win. At the start, they are not balanced. They are laser-focused. They put their eggs in just a few baskets, and then they watch those baskets like a hawk, because they accept that failure is just part of the game. It's part of making real progress. Kiyosaki brings up this great story about the Alamo. I mean, think about it. The Alamo was a huge, spectacular military defeat. But how did Texans treat it? They don't try to hide it or bury it. Heck no, they built a massive tourist attraction around it. They turned a catastrophic loss into this powerful rallying cry, a source of inspiration. That is the mindset of a winner. You transform your failures into your reason to win. So let's say you start to get your fear under control. Well, that's when you run right into its loud, annoying cousin, cynicism. You know that little Chicken Little voice in your head that's always screaming, "The sky is falling." That's the one. It's the voice of doubt that paralyzes you before you even get started. And right there, that's the key difference. A cynic, just to feel safe, will immediately find a reason to criticize an opportunity. They'll say, oh, that'll never work. But a winner, they analyze it. They look for the angles, the possibilities, the opportunity that all the critics are just too afraid to see. Oh, this is the absolute classic cynical excuse. The minute you bring up real estate investing, this is the kind of noise you hear back. The cynic latches onto this tiny, completely solvable problem and uses it as a giant excuse to dismiss a massive opportunity for building wealth. And really, that's the question you have to ask yourself, isn't it? When you let an excuse like fixing toilets stop you in your tracks, you are literally telling yourself that a minor hassle is more important than your financial freedom. A winner's response isn't to fix the toilet. It's to ask, okay, how can I buy this property without ever having to touch a toilet? And the answer is obvious, right? You hire a great property manager, problem solved. Letting that cynicism take over, well, that's a direct path to our third obstacle, laziness. But listen, we're not talking about just sitting on the couch all day. According to Kiyosaki, the most common type of laziness is just staying busy to avoid dealing with what actually matters, like your money or your health. This phrase right here is a complete mental dead end. The second the words, "I can't afford it," come out of your mouth, your brain just switches off. The conversation's over. Rich Dad taught that this isn't just a simple excuse. It's a lie you tell yourself that just completely short-circuits your potential. But just look at the power of this little switch. By flipping that dead-end statement into a question, you fire your brain back up. How can I afford it? Forces your mind to start looking for answers, to get creative, to see possibilities that were invisible a second ago. It turns a roadblock into a puzzle that needs solving. All right, now for the controversial cure. Kiyosaki says the real antidote for laziness is a little greed. And he doesn't mean the nasty, negative kind. He means the desire for a better life. So when you feel yourself putting something important off, just ask yourself, what's in it for me? Really visualize the life you want, the freedom, the choices, all of it. That desire is the jet fuel you need to overcome laziness. And that leads us perfectly into our next obstacle: bad habits. Kiyosaki makes this powerful point that our lives are way more a reflection of our habits than they are of our education. And when it comes to your money, there's one habit that can change absolutely everything. Okay, this one feels totally backwards at first, but it is so powerful. Most of us, we pay our bills and then we try to save whatever's left over, which is usually, nothing. Rich Dad's habit is the opposite. Pay yourself first. Put money into your asset column before you pay anyone else. Now, yes, this is going to create some pressure. Your creditors are going to start calling, but that pressure, that becomes your motivation. It forces your brain to figure out new ways to make more money so you can pay them. It's like a financial workout at the gym. It's the resistance that actually makes you stronger. Now, once you start building strong habits like that, you gain the discipline and the real confidence to avoid our final and maybe the most self-destructive obstacle of all: arrogance. And a lot of the time, this is really just ignorance wearing a mask. It's when people use a lot of bravado to hide the fact that they actually have no clue what they're talking about. Rich Dad's own words just nail it. Arrogance is expensive. It's that feeling you get when you start to believe that what you don't know just doesn't matter. And let me tell you, that is a guaranteed way to lose money, because in the world of investing, what you don't know can and absolutely will hurt you. The solution here could not be more simple. Instead of puffing out your chest and pretending you know it all, just have the humility to admit what you don't know. And then go find an expert. Go read a book on it. Educate yourself. Real confidence doesn't come from pretending. It comes from actual competence. And trust me, your bank account will thank you for it. So, let's do a super quick recap of the 5 big mental roadblocks we've talked about. You've got the fear that paralyzes you, the cynicism that blinds you, the laziness that kills your creativity, the bad habits that keep you poor, and finally, the arrogance that covers up some very expensive ignorance. And that brings us to the end. But look, the most important thing isn't just knowing that these 5 obstacles exist. It's about spotting them in yourself. So the question I really want to leave you with is this: which one of these 5 is building the walls around you? Be brutally honest with yourself, because knowing your enemy, well, that's the first step to winning the battle.